Hey, how's it going, you guys? Thank you and welcome. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak up and to talk about my truth, which is compatibility. How does one find oneself around everyone else? Because there's a lot of opinions. Who are you? Your friend, why do you act that way? Your parents, why don't you act more like this? There's a lot of people out there pulling your boat, changing your sails. How do you know what you're really supposed to be doing? How do you know if you're flying right? That's what I love to learn. That's what I love to teach. That's my perspective. What is your passion? How can you use your passion to talk to people that are just like you, passion-wise? There's only one way to do it. So then that way is getting to know who you are, what your truth is. My friend Amelia wanted me to do her birth chart. Thank you, Amelia, for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to talk about your Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn, and then your nodes and your rising sign. And probably your 10th house as well. Because I want you to be fired up. I want you to want to be expressive and be awesome, because you are. And knowing what you can do work-wise is pretty powerful. So that's why I want to give you that. And here we are. And your sun sign is Aquarius. Your sun sign, Amelia, is Aquarius, which is a sign that is very sociable, very good at associating with friends, very good with communities, very admirable type of characteristic. My favorite thing about Aquarius would be the I don't give a shit attitude. I'm gonna go and handle the thing. And if you don't like me doing it this way, then why don't you do it? That attitude is my favorite. My mom's an Aquarius, and she's definitely like that. And so that's where I get my inspiration from most of the time. She has a lot of Aquarius in her birth chart. Anyways, I digress. Next, we'll talk about your rising. Amelia, your rising is in Leo, which is the opposite of Aquarius, which is kind of cool. So that means that your sun sign is very good at being sociable. And then your Leo rising is very good at shining, being self, being one's true self, being that lion, being that expressiveness. That's really cool. So there's no doubt when it comes to expressing oneself, which is very inspiring and cool. So your sun and your rising are chilling with each other. And sun sign is really important, and your rising sign is actually really important too, as well as your Mars, but we're talking about first and sun. But your rising, honestly, it is very similar to your Mars, so those are going to tie into each other when we get to it. But that's still really significant and cool. So you're very good at being social, and also very good at creating your awesomeness in that social interaction, which is very cool, very inspiring. Your moon is in Scorpio, not afraid to go deep, not afraid to study the mysterious, the scary, to face the demons. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. Hades rules Pluto. Hades, I don't know if you've seen that cartoon, Hercules. It has Hades in it, and he looks really funny. His hair is all fire. His hair is literally fire. And he's just really angry and blue for some reason. And he's just trying to foil Hercules' plans to be awesome. It's just a funny story. And that's basically Pluto, Scorpio. It's just this energy of I'm not afraid. I'm going through my fears. My fears don't mean anything to me. My life is past them. It's always been that way. So it's an unstoppable energy, very inspiring and cool. Very Mars-esque as well, because Pluto is ruled by Scorpio is ruled by Pluto and Mars as a co-ruler. Scorpio co-rules Mars. So Scorpio has this really aggressive attitude, but also has this drawn back attitude. Because they're a water sign, and Pluto is the last planet that we know of in our solar system. So, yeah. I always associate Scorpio to that Backdoor Man song. It's a cool song. If you haven't heard it, it's pretty chill. So that's your moon. Your Mercury? Okay, so your Mercury is in Capricorn, Amelia, meaning that you have really good work ethic when it comes to communicating. You're not really going to communicate with someone to get to know them. You're going to communicate with them to do something productive. And that's how you communicate, by doing things that are really productive and then finishing it and going through with it. So you start something productive and then you finish it and then you go through with it. Now that's really admirable. Nothing can stop that type of perspective. Capricorn is a goat. The goat climbs trees. How would a goat climb trees? Something with hooves. Dude, they climb up walls. They're just really, really smart individuals. Capricorn is depicted as a goat with a fish tail. And so there's a lot of significance with being able to climb and handle the intimidating perspectives of life. I feel like the reason why they cut the goat in half for Capricorn is so that you can see the different perspectives. Capricorn is earth, grounded, very strong-minded, and also emotional-minded too. And stable. And structured. I feel like the reason why they put the tail there is so that the energy doesn't mesh too much with the ram from Aries, but that's just me. Let me know what you think. So next, your Venus. Your Venus is in Capricorn as well. So you're loving this whole doing awesome at working. This whole work ethic thing is your vibe. That's your esque. That's your niche. Like when you talk to people, you always end up talking about your work, which is very cool. And that's inevitable. It's going to happen no matter what you do. It's just going to happen. Just accept it. Because you have really good work ethic when it comes to communicating. And that, it accentuates further. But first, we're going to talk about, so your Venus, and then your Mars is in Libra. Meaning that your Mars is the scales. The sign that holds the scales with the mask, like the Statue of Liberty, kind of, sort of like that. It's like you have like bad and good, but you don't judge. You don't really look and be like, oh, this is bad, oh, this is good. No. It's just there is weight here, and then there's weight here. Both weights have structure. And then you weigh out which one is more significant, and then you choose that decision. So that's your Mars. So Mars energy is the most aggressive energy. So you have your first house, which is ruled by Mars. Well, your first house is ruled by Aries. First house is always ruled by Aries. If you look at any graph, you're going to see first house is Aries energy. So your first house is Leo. And your Mars is Libra. So this accentuates through your personality like this. So your Mars is in Libra. So you're very balanced. And your first house is in Leo. So you're very prideful about having balance. Balance is key. If you have balance, then you have stable perspectives, you have power, you have everything that you could ever want. It just starts with knowing if you're doing the right thing or if the right thing is doing something else. So you measure those out and then you just guide like that. Yeah. I was thinking about this video that I think you did, or you mentioned sometime. I'm not sure when it was, but you mentioned something about how your work had guided you to school, to spirit mysteries. And I was like, oh shit, that's cool, you know. And this ties into that perfectly. Your first house in Leo, your Mars in Libra. Libra balances. Libra's not going to make a decision unless they know that that's the right decision. So there's going to be a lot of questions before jumping in. So it's for sure going to be the right one. So when you do stuff, you always make sure that you're right about it. And then you're prideful about being right about the decision that you made. Because that's how Leo is. Leo's prideful about everything. Period. Inevitably. Pride is key for that sign. That's it. Lion pride. What do you see when you see a bunch of lions together? A group of lions is called a pride. It's called a pride because that's how they survive. Could you imagine having one lion out there in the wild? You never really see that. You always see prides of lions. You know, when they go and they attack a herd of animals, they're always in a group. They're always doing things together. You know, unless you're a cat or something. But lions are pride animals, so that's where that comes from. The whole Leo perspective. Okay, so next we have your Jupiter. So your Sun and your Jupiter are both the same. So your Jupiter's in Aquarius and your Sun is also in Aquarius. Meaning that when you start opening up to people, when you start interacting with other people, that's when your life is going to become more fun. Yeah, so ninth house is ruled by Sagittarius, which is the faith sign. So what you believe in, how you express what you believe in, your faith. This is ninth house, Sagittarius. Guess what your ninth house is in? Pisces. I feel like personally that's God or Spirit saying you're in the right place. You know, you're studying Spirit. Your ninth house is in Pisces. You're in the right place. Okay, and so your ninth house is in Pisces, and your Jupiter is in Aquarius. So Aquarius is social. So this, for me, depicts into like this. So speak to others to become more in tune with yourself, to become more of who you are, but speak to others about spirituality. And that's what you're doing, Amelia. Mad props. I checked out some of your YouTube videos for sure spiritual. I'll for sure post a link in there somewhere so that people can check you out. But yeah, you're really inspiring and very admirable. Next, we shall go with fun one here. Your Saturn is in Aries, right? Okay, that's cool. But the cool part also is that your 10th house is also in Aries. But so your Saturn is in Aries, and your 10th house, which is ruled by Saturn, Capricorn. Capricorn rules of Saturn. So your 10th house is in Aries, and your Saturn is in Aries. So that means that you're really, really work oriented. And when you get turned on to something, you just take care of it. Aries has this entrepreneurial energy that doesn't get messed with. And it just goes through things. And then things get handled. And that's it. There's no, oh, what if? No, it just gets handled. Period. That's how Aries is. That's how you are when it comes to work. When it comes to work, you just handle it. There's no question like, oh, well, how are you gonna? No how. Done. That's it. So whenever you need something in your life to be done, you've already written out a plan, taken care of it, and everything's already straightened out. So that's very admirable also. That's very cool. Okay, and your node is in Virgo, meaning your south node is in Pisces. nodes have to do with this is interesting. Tell me what you think. But I was just thinking about how your ninth house is in Pisces, right? Well, that's like the religion one, so that's kind of cool. So you can use it to guide you. But your node is like what you should be pursuing in your life, and your node is in Virgo. So your node being in Virgo means that you're going to be a person that is not really so structured naturally, because your south node is inevitably in Pisces. And Pisces south node is not super duper work oriented, focused on structuring things. So in this life, you're guided to structure things. And that's the thing. That's the thing for you, right? It's very important to structure things. And you know when you're not really focused too much on what you should be doing by being like overtly spiritual, because your south node is in Pisces. So if you're overtly spiritual, then that means that maybe shifting a little bit towards working and making sure that everything is in alignment. Make sure you're doing this every day, or setting up a routine or something. Maybe something cool, maybe get a planner, you know. I really like looking at your birth chart. If you have any questions, or want to talk synastry, compatibility with anything or anyone, let me know, because that's my favorite part. But you got to know who you are first. So after you know who you are, then you can start going out and studying who you can become by getting to know the people that walked your path already. For example, if you're reading a book about someone who's 40 years older than you, then you're learning things that person went through. If they're really similar to you, you're reading your own biography, really, in a sense. And that's really cool, in my opinion. To read your own biography through someone else sounds pretty beautiful. So there's that. Biographies are cool like that. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to check out your birth chart, Amelia. And then definitely get at me if you have any questions. Or yeah, thank you. If anyone wants to check out any of my stuff, just hit me up. Hit me up in my what you do. Okay, let me break it down. Let me break it way down. Okay, so what you do is you go to my channel, and then in the top right hand corner there's a link to all my stuff. There's my Instagram, my Patreon, and all that other cool stuff. So check that stuff out. Check out more of my videos if you haven't already. And thank you for your time. I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day. And yeah. Thank you.